Thank you so much for being willing to be interviewed for Voices of Community, Erath County Oral History Project. I wanted to start by asking each one of you to introduce yourselves, and GeriAnn, we can start with you. Introduce yourselves and share a little bit of your background.
All right. My name is GeriAnn Kalsbeek. I moved to Stephenville probably about 37 years ago. My parents were in the dairy industry, and Stephenville was a great place to have a business, and they moved out here from California. I met my husband here, and we soon had a family, and that's how we got to town.
And where in California? From where in California?
I was in the desert, Barstow, right between LA and Vegas.
And what year did you?
89, summer of 89, we moved to Texas.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And Cathy?
My name's Cathy Erck, and I have lived in Stephenville probably 37 years too, and I grew up in California. My dad worked for Shell Oil Company, and he was a geophysicist. And so we actually really moved a lot. And one of our moves took us to Houston, Texas, and then took us to Midland, Texas. I've moved 19 times in my life. And when I ran through Midland, Texas, I met my high school sweetheart and married him. And he, when he was going through med school and then his residency, came to Stephenville as a general surgeon. So that's what brought us to Stephenville, and that would have been 1995. And so we've lived here for about, I guess that time, and about 5 years ago we moved over to Glen Rose. And so I started off my life as a teacher, believe it or not. I was a high school teacher, so I got that little thing going there. And I've always had a love of books, and so that's what kind of took me into my book business. And then I met GeriAnn at a book fair, and I knew her because I had kids, and she had a kids store in town. So that's kind of how we met and partnered our two businesses, which I really guess is about 25 years ago.
Tell me about the meeting. You say you met her at a book fair.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about meeting GeriAnn, talk about meeting Cathy, talk about striking up a friendship, that kind of thing. Take me back to when all that happened.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I would say I shopped in her store because she had the only kids store in town. And it had a lot of cute things in it. And when we were, her children went to, I tell people, her kids went to the Christian school, we went to the public school. Her kids played soccer, my kids played football. She had girls, I had boys. And so we had a lot of things in common, but a lot of differences in our families and relationships. Mm-hmm. And I think what has helped in our business tremendously over the years is that we are friends, but we're not family. And so we have been able to keep our door open when family things called, which could be birthday parties, mm-hmm. weddings, grandkids, and we've been able to make it work for that a good 25-year, mm-hmm. Quarter of a century. Have you ever thought about it that way?
No.
So when you start doing blocks like that, it becomes a little bit different.
Yeah.
Or it sounds different. So you meet, strike up a friendship. GeriAnn, you had a kids store.
Mm-hmm. At that time, I had 4 little girls, and I wanted them to match on Christmas and Easter, and that wasn't available in this town. I had a mentor. My mom's best friend growing up, her mother had a children's store in California that we would go to, so she kind of came out and gave me some insight. Went to market for the first time together, and just got to learn that way and trial and error.
So can we say 4 kids?
Yes.
4 kids only?
Yes. And then 4 kids, which were all girls, and then we did have a boy. And we didn't change the name.
5 kids only sounds funny,
yeah,
right?
It just doesn't have a ring to it.
So Cathy, when you got into book fairs, mm-hmm. how did you get into book fairs?
Sometimes I have to think back, but if I can use the scapegoat of being old and I can't remember, that would be a good way to say it. But mm-hmm. I would say I've always loved books, and as part of me always loving books, I think that I've always had a desire to put a book in a child's hand. And I think that books are really a great equalizer. They can take any child, and through what they can read in a book can make them see the world differently, can make them just expand their horizons tremendously, go to places they could never visit, and it doesn't matter, age, gender, socioeconomic group, just anything. That a book is a great equalizer. There's one of my inspirations is Ben Carson, And if you don't know the Ben Carson story, I hope you would take some time to look it up and read it. But he is a man who, his mother used to leave him at the library when she went to clean homes, and he and his brother would read, and she'd come back and pick him up. And they ended up, he's a pediatric neurosurgeon now. I mean, and it's from those early days of having books in their hand. And so we do carry a lot of. We try to do classic children's things, books, but the fun and new too. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I started it, and how I got into the book fair business. That I feel like I met a lady named, which is Cindy Edwards, and she was the superintendent at Three-Way. And she, Scholastic would not go there because they were so tiny, so I went. And then it was a kind of a ripple effect. Like, her husband was the superintendent in Morgan Mill, and they worked in a consortium with Bluffdale. And then a teacher lived in Bluffdale but taught in Mineral Wells, and the Mineral Wells Library knew. And so it just kind of has grown tremendously. So I think there's just a need and kids still, even though there's iPads, and I think you're almost seeing right now a throwback to putting books back in kids' hands again. I think that you're seeing that cognition between turning a page and reading is different than an iPad. So,
talk about how the partnership grew over time. Off camera, you talked a little bit about moving. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to know, over the course of
28
years,
years,
century,
yeah,
right, how your partnership has grown and changed.
Well, just like our city, I mean, we started 28 years ago by Polito's, which is no longer there, which is now the Seeker, in a little building. We were there 5 years. Then we moved downtown for 5 years, and then back 18 years ago, the shopping center here, we had Bell's and J.C. Penney's, two really good hub stores, and we were right between them. And now we laugh because now we're between Specs and a CBD store. The world has changed. But, we have great parking. It's easy to access our place. I would say that's been our major growth. A year and a half ago, we did a remodel in the store, which we'll never do again.
We're all still talking to each other.
Yes.
But
Finally.
But I also think that GeriAnn, my take on GeriAnn is that I think she's very fashion forward. I think she watches trends. She stays up with what's going on, and we know when to, or she's good at dropping brands that aren't selling and picking up the ones that are, so that you're always having something new. And her goal is for you to come in the store and see it differently anytime you ever walk in the door, so that you would you can always find something new and fresh that's not at a big box type store, and I think that when we first came, and you probably hadn't thought about this in a while, but since we both said we were from California, one of the first brands we carried a lot was Quicksilver and Roxy, which are California beach brands. Sure.
Yeah.
And it was so wildly popular.
Yeah. And now we're into Burlebo and Under Armour.
Which is a hunting,
Yes.
fishing, hiking, which is probably a reflection of Stephenville.
Yes.
So that might be.
Definitely responding to the trends, for sure. What about challenges? Talk about challenges that y'all have faced individually or together as business owners, members of the community.
On a business level or personal level?
Both.
Both.
Whatever you're comfortable sharing.
Stephenville is such a great community.
And they've been very supportive
So
of us.
supportive. COVID happened. That would be a biggie. I mean, we had to close our doors. And I will tell you that it's such a God thing, is that we never technically closed our doors. We shortened our hours. We had pickup. People would come and we'd bring it to their car. But Stephenville showed up, and we were able to pay our rent and continue. I think that is like one of the biggest God blessings to look back and see, for sure, because it changed our world. And Stephenville stayed strong.
Would you say that obviously that was a proud moment? Would that be the proudest moment, would you say, in your partnership?
Well, that'd be an interesting one to
I
think
know.
about. I think staying in business for we just had our 28th birthday, like 2 weeks ago. And to me, the proudest moment would be everybody taking pictures of people who their mothers shopped for them in the store, and they were back in the store shopping for their children. So we're in that second generation, like now the grandmother shopping for her daughter's grandkids, and she's shopping for her kids. So it's like we're in that second generation of people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
That's
Yeah.
you definitely see that as a moment of, or
Do you think?
yeah, marker.
And
of
then
pride.
I think, like, kind of on a personal level, like the stories we've shared with customers, the losses, the joys. Gosh, it's gonna make me cry.
Yeah, it's been,
Yeah, there's a lot.
A lot happens in here on a day. On a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Time out. Oh, did you need something?
I was going to let you guys know there might be a city inspector coming in.
Okay.
If he comes in, would you please just send him on the back side?
Oh, okay. Yes,
We'll be at the
absolutely.
back. We're done
Oh.
already. So
Wow.
we just gotta wait for him.
Okay. Yes, I'll.
It was done a long time ago, so he's waiting for you guys coming.
Okay, I'll send them back there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna clap again so I can line it up.
Okay.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
Okay. What about your different people? I'm sure there's been times when you've had different perspectives when it comes to things. Can you talk about the way you work together when you're bringing different perspectives and how
do
those
that one.
are solved or worked through?
I use the word respect, and that I think what we have both tried to do for the 25 years is respect what the other person is bringing to the table, to the party. And it's not any different than a marriage. It's not any different than a friendship, that you have to let each of those people be their person and do their thing. And I think that that's maybe that, you know, like, I know that I like to drive GeriAnn personally nuts and order huge dinosaurs and stick them in the window. And I like to, you know, I know sometimes she'll think of me like, why would you ever buy that? And then it turns out to be, you know, and
Yeah.
the squishies might be a funny thing right now.
Right.
Like she's probably pretty sick of squishies, but we're having a good time with
Yep.
them. Squishies, Neatos, the little hot things in the market. So, and then, and I think that sometimes when we do have a difference of opinion, I think she can say to me, maybe don't do this, and I don't take it personal. It's done with respect, not judgment. Is that maybe a way of saying that? That, you know, and then like I might be able to say, hey, try going down this road, or she'll, and we actually have a lot of customers that recommend product to us.
Yep.
And so we've kind of tried to go out and maybe add things like that to the mix. But I think we both amaze ourselves that we've not had a major conflict in 25
really haven't.
years.
Yeah. Well, let's shift to talking more about the community. We've already touched on it a little bit. What role has the community played in your relationship?
Stephenville Yellow Jackets. I mean, I have a funny remembrance of her being out by Politos, and gosh, when the cheerleading uniforms came in, we spent we didn't have cell phones then. Do you remember that? We spent the whole day people would line up for those cheerleading uniforms, and that would be fun. And
Yeah.
and we've done some fun things, like we gave away pom-poms this year before the state playoff game, and I feel like, what else can you think of? Any?
I think for the community, we hopefully are listening to what they like. We sell a lot of Western. We're not a Western store. We just sell horse stuff. If it has a horse on it, we try to buy it. I think over the years, we've given donations to lots of little fundraisers, and trying to be a part of the things here.
In terms of the community, what places in town have been important to the story, to y'all's story?
As on like mentorship.
Well, places, you mentioned that you used to be between JCPenney
Yeah.
and Hills. So in some ways that's important to this location.
Right.
For kids only. What else? Like, what other places in the community are woven into the narrative of this business?
Well, when we have our events, which we do a couple things a year, like our Christmas open house, and we do our birthday party, we always use someone local to do, and you can give some shout outs if you'd like. Amy Stoker's what they did.
Oh, the Utterly Delicious. And I feel like we always try to get somebody new, like somebody that's maybe just starting a business. They have a food truck. We've had lemonade stands. We've had Girl Scout cookies out front. But I'm trying to think. I've got so many friends in the Stephenville world of in trying to be respectful of their business and, what they carry versus what we do.
What is it like having a downtown business from having a business that's on the opposite end of town?
Yeah.
Well, when we were downtown at that time, I think there's a lot more activity in downtown Stephenville now. I think they've gotten pretty active down there, and there's events like Girls' Night Out, and there's more retail business downtown now than there probably used to not be that much retail business down there. And I mean, I can certainly count the number, and there's more restaurants down there which pull people down there. I know they do the farmers market down there, so I think there's a lot of things like that there. And what we've found is it seems like there's a lot of growth in, I'm going to say, that direction, which I'm pointing west. And it seems like a lot of people have been moving to Comanche, and I mean, like we're getting a lot of customers from
Brownwood,
people come here, and we have a lot of families that meet, like they come from, someone's coming from Fort Worth and someone's coming from another area, and they meet halfway through, and stop by here, and so I think we see a lot of people consistently through the year that don't even live in Stephenville that come here to shop.
Can you talk about local traditions in Stephenville that you guys enjoy as individuals with your families? Local traditions or events that the business has been a part of over the years?
Especially when we were downtown. I mean, Christmas.
What's it called? The Holly
Jolly Christmas.
Yeah, we would be downtown for those
the 4th
things.
of July is a big thing. We've got the parade and the park.
I know how we're important in the parade. Everybody's buying your little cute outfits and their bows and.
Well, and I think of 28 years ago, the phones were such a new thing, and I mean I remember walking the parade, passing out little coupons, I think with a sucker or something to just people with kids, telling them about our business. I mean back then you had the newspaper, and the radio was our only forms of advertising and communication, and man, that's changed.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point that it has.
So,
social media now takes place of like a written media and things like that.
And how's the community supported or influenced your work and friendship? Are you part of any other organizations in the community? Have you
Cathy
been over
is.
the years?
Yeah, I've done a lot. I've done a lot of things in town. I've have been on the a soccer commissioner. Soccer's really big in Stephenville, and I think that because of that, GeriAnn, and they're a big soccer family too. So I think we've had a tendency to carry soccer clothing and or gift type items to maybe address some of that need. I've worked a lot with, I'm in a group called Stephenville Study Club. I've done, what else have I done? I've done Sundown on the Square, which was a really fun thing that we did for a number of years, but they had the last of the concert series downtown, and they would block off the whole downtown and just have a great kids area and someone playing music down there, food and fun and things like that. So I've done some stuff like that. And then with my book business, I've been active in a lot of the schools. So I've done a lot of things through the schools, through family reading nights, and just I've gotten a lot of unique opportunities to do things in town for them.
I would say for me, it's always a season of where your kids are, more than likely. I volunteer a lot at our church. My kids went to the Christian school, so I was on the PTO there, soccer.
More soccer.
Fishing. My son is did the bass fishing club at Tarleton and at the high school, so we were into that for a long season. Sunday school teaching. It's always hard. I always feel like, for me personally, it's hard sometimes to get involved in a club because it's at night, and then you have family and then, or during the day, it's hard to get away. But yeah.
Talk about community change, because I know that since when you got here, it was different from where it is now.
I'm trying to remember what the sign was on the outskirts of town. What the population was. Can you remember? I thought it was 12,000.
Stephenville's grown.
Do you think it was maybe 12,000 at that time?
14, 15 maybe.
And moving on up, and I think what we find is we are amazed at how many people come in here on a daily basis that have never been in here, and they're brand new to the community. And what's been fun is that they usually get referred by a hairdresser or someone telling them, oh, if you need something, run over to the kids store. And so I think GeriAnn is affectionately the kids store lady, or the goat lady. What is it?
Yeah, we have a farm.
Okay.
That's where that comes from. Yeah, oh gosh, I mean, I don't know how long just Tarleton in general. Like our city has sure changed. But I also look back to COVID of like the world's changed. People don't go to the mall and spend a day like they used to. They don't go shopping with friends. Everything's pretty, point blank. You click an order and go. And I hope to say that I think one of the things we do offer is counseling almost. Like we listen. We really try to listen. We've formed so many relationships. But Stephenville's growth is something to be said. We've really seen our community grow.
Have you seen a retail space change? Because 25 years ago, Amazon was not a
right.
thing. So how has that changed as retail business folks?
I know. I think every day somebody comes in and they're like, I didn't know you had this. I just ordered it online. And so, and they do say like small business is like the foundation of your city. We've seen growth of, we have many more shopping centers, but I think people, we just try to, be ahead of the game, have it before they do.
Or don't have what they
do.
Try
to be different.
I tell people that the only difference between us and Amazon is that front door. And when you walk in that door, we hope that we are greeting you. We hope that we are listening to you. We hope that we're giving you some thoughts on where our minds were when we purchased this. I'm a storyteller. I have a story for everything, so I have a story on everything in here.
And people want relationships.
They do.
I think that is something that is so needed. People don't do that anymore, or like they used to.
Sure.
She's a good listener.
You always need those. Yeah, for sure. What's a typical day like? Now?
Chaos.
Yeah. Talk about that. What's a typical
We
day
wing
like
it.
here with the family, and how you mix all that in, or how you did if your kids are grown?
Yeah.
I would say I'd go back to what we talked about, that I think we complement each other. And so we feel like in probably 25 years, we only didn't open the door one day. We both, I thought she was working and she thought I was working. And that lets you have those other days for your family. And if I were to say one thing, I think you're looking at two people who family means a lot to them. And to not miss, when you start missing the moments of your family, that's when you resent your business.
Yeah.
And we've been able to I don't think we've missed anything.
No.
And, like I've supported her, and she supported me. My father passed away recently, and I didn't miss a thing. I got to do everything I needed to do for my family. Her daughter had a baby on Saturday, and she's leaving in the morning to go take care of that baby, and I'll take care of the store so she can go. And I think that maybe we've complemented each other to keep the. And I think she's really good at like I said, catching fashion, catching things that are new, catching trends.
And has that developed over time? Like the idea that the complementary nature of your relationship really makes for a successful relationship.
Correct.
Right? Because you're doing things that are not your strength, and you have strengths that are maybe not your strengths. So what are like some of the routines over the years that have really, now you talked about somebody needs to be with the family, somebody runs the store. What are the routines that maybe you've developed over the course of 28 years that just make this team the team?
Well, I think if I see something that I think is one of the responsibilities of GeriAnn in the store, like a line of clothing that my grandkids are wearing, or I would send her a picture. And I don't think she sees that as a judgment that she didn't order that, but like, hey, look at this. And she'll send me a picture of a book that somebody might recommend, and we'll go look at that book and look at getting it, putting it in the store. So I think there's that, we have our delineation of what each of us does, but we can cross over and enjoy the other person making recommendations or, doing some things.
And if you had to talk about or name a person or people who have been influential, community people who were here before you or who moved in after you guys moved in, who would be people that were influential to you in the community?
Well, I think that's going to be a hard one because I felt like we were both very new to the town, which I will say was maybe there was some little bumps in the road of people were like, well, you're not a local. And maybe we are now. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I would go back to my mom's best friend. We called her Grandma Kay growing up. But that wasn't local. I do laugh at sometimes I run out of bags and I can call Cindy Frederick, who has her and her daughter own a boutique, and I'm like, can I just grab some bags? We've ran out of labels.
Tape.
Yes.
I ran out of tape.
So I think I kind of feel like we're one of the older boutiques or small business, definitely small, in town.
Anybody that's influenced?
I think I'll go back to say Cindy Edwards. When I was talking about Dr. Edwards, she's not Dr. Edwards. I feel like she was someone that I was like, I think I could do a book fair. Yeah, I'm smart enough to be able to figure out how to do that. I can figure that out. And then I feel like she really pushed me to try to go down that route. And I also think I had people that believed in me at the beginning of my business, and I'll use Lynn Hamilton, who was the librarian at Chamberlain for years and years and years, gave me the opportunity to do her book fair business, and it kind of grew from that. And I think they just had the confidence in what you were doing and supported you. And I think what makes GeriAnn's business successful, I think, is she has a lot of repeat customers.
We do.
People and people will say all the time, I know I can come in and you're going to have what I need. I know I can come in and get something, and it's going to be new, something different, but something that you can.
Well, I thought this is a funny thing that I've kind of forgot to mention is when I first started, my mother had a little closet in her house, and she called it the Dutch Touch, and it was Dutch food, cheeses and all the things. And so when I decided to open the store, I said, well, I'll put it in the back of my store in a little storage room if you'll watch my kids some. And so, and the Dutch Touch moved with us even here for a while in the back. And but then it got to the point of there was more online options and you could order direct, and so.
Gosh, but don't you remember all those years of sorting the chocolate letters?
No.
For Christmas, they give out chocolate letters with
their name on it,
or a letter of their first letter of their name.
And then we could always have a snack.
I'm glad you mentioned cheese and food because that transitions us great into talking about food. So, are there meals or foods that have connected y'all together, or meals that, if you've ever shared meals together at each other's homes?
That sounds funny, doesn't it?
It does.
But I would say, first of all, she is an excellent cook. I think she's an excellent cook, and I think that she has a lot of unique things that you do a lot of candy. Like a lot
at Christmas, we always make candy. I have friends over, or now my children. You share meals. I bring you eggs.
She does bring me eggs, lots of eggs. We eat lots of eggs at our house. So we could say that. But and that's why I said it sounds like a partnership that sounds funny, but I think what made it work is that we didn't feel like we had to
do everything together. I know sometimes we'll go to Dallas, usually once or twice a year, and it's kind of nice. We spend a day together, and then we do go eat together.
Yeah.
But it's really a rarity to even be together, because if I know she's here, I don't have to be here or worry. and vice versa. I hope.
Yeah.
Let's talk about so Cathy shared a banana pudding recipe, and now I'll put you on the spot.
Oh man.
So if you had to share one,
Oh gosh.
what would be the recipe that you would share?
What do you make for everybody?
Well, I think if you're thinking like, I do love to cook and bake, and I think one of the special or unique things is most holidays we have something called, we call it red cabbage. I think it's called, I'm not even going to pretend I know what it's called in Dutch, because my parents are of Dutch heritage, and it's a red cabbage sliced with apples and vinegar and sugar. It's just delicious. That's something we usually only have on holidays, and it's a treat.
Is that more on the dessert side or
No,
more on
it's a vegetable.
It's a vegetable.
Yep.
It'd be a side dish.
It'd be a side dish. Yep.
Okay. Talk about what's on your Thanksgiving Day table.
Well, red cabbage.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
and we make riced potatoes. I don't know if that's even. I don't know why
With
we
the
did
ricer?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would boil your potatoes and put them in the ricer, and yeah, we're from California. We're not true Texans, I guess, because we have stuffing, not dressing.
Okay.
Yeah, and just traditional rolls. What else do we have? Green bean casserole. We're pretty traditional, I think, when it comes to the holidays.
Cathy, what's on y'all's table?
Turkey, always the turkey, usually turkey ham. We do mashed potatoes. We do dressing, which I didn't grow up eating dressing. I grew up eating stuffing, you know what I mean, which is bread.
Right,
So if you don't know the difference between stuffing and it's bread. And I grew up with that, but I married a Texan, and so that comes into the banana pudding. You know, you got to have that banana pudding. But my husband's the great cook in our family, so he gets whatever he wants to do. But we usually will have like a green bean and a corn and pies. That's like a couple good chocolate pie and a good coconut pie.
On Thanksgiving?
Always.
Oh.
So banana pudding is just if everybody's like, it makes so much banana pudding. That's why I gave you that recipe. If you're making banana pudding, that means people are coming.
Right.
You're going to
Company's
have
coming.
a crowd. Company's coming.
And I always like to know whether this is, if your kids are married, what are the things that, even with your husbands, the things that diffused from their families and ended up on your table? In other words, you mentioned the red cabbage. Maybe that was from your side of the family.
No, it's my husband's side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that brought over. So what was brought from different sides of the family that ended up on
On our
the
table.
holiday table?
Well, I think that reminds me of like, so I guess I'm the gravy person because I grew up, my mother made gravy with cornstarch, and my husband's mother made it with flour, and it's much better with flour. So my mom.
Oh, really?
Yes. Anytime I go, my mom's like, I got the stuff you got to do the gravy now that you're here. But yeah, gosh, I wish I should have asked my kids. My kids are like, what do they want when they come home? I have, of course, 5 kids. Only 2 of them still live in the area. But like I was telling you before we were starting the video of like, my kids call and they're like, can you send me this recipe? I want to make strawberry pie. What do I need? I'm at the grocery store is usually the thing. Can you tell me what I need?
I'll say the chocolate pie and the coconut pies are recipes from Steve's family. And when the kids got married, I had, because I have his mother's handwriting of the things, and I had them etched on a cutting board. So the chocolate one's on one side, one's on the other. And it's kind of fun to go to their houses and see that all of them have it in their kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be used as a hot plate. It's on a board, but it's kind of fun to go back and look at that and see that. And then I think green bean casseroles. I mean, what can you say? The only thing is we did quit making green bean casserole. And we now cook it in a crock pot, which is a different twist on it, and it's just bacon, onion, green beans, soy sauce, and brown sugar, which took out the fun stuff, right?
The creamy.
The cream of mushroom soup. It's good. It is good. So that's it.
Over the years, what have been your favorite places to eat in town? Other small businesses, right, that are food small businesses.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite gathering place in town for food?
Cafe Azteca right there is pretty good.
Yes. Cam's Pizza.
Cam's Pizza is excellent.
So yum.
Excellent. And I eat at Greer's a lot, like with a group of women that we eat there about once a month, and it's I've always loved Greer's. Greer's is great for breakfast after church on Sunday. We've done a lot of that over time.
Now, I wish I could think of the name of it, but the Hispanic food truck in front of Mattressville. Best breakfast burrito in town.
Okay, you got to talk about
Oh,
El
yes.
Trumpo.
And El Trumpo. Have you?
Not been yet.
Oh,
Street
El
tacos.
Trumpo's street tacos. Gotta go. That would be my other one.
I mean, I think there's a lot of. I was trying to think of things that might have closed.
Yeah,
I feel
Santa Fe.
Yeah, Santa Fe Taco was good. That closed, and then it was the restaurant that was in the house that's down by Tarleton. It used to be called like the Venetia. You remember that one? It was an Italian restaurant down there.
No.
Okay, it was good, and I liked Pastafina. Pastafina is always
Always a good one.
yeah. You can always they're great for calling
group.
at 5:30. I need these 3 things, and I'm going to pick it up on my way home because I didn't have time to get dinner together today. So that might be a kind of a good one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess we both like to eat, right?
Yeah. Yep.
What makes Erath County special to you, GeriAnn?
Wow. I mean, I'm going to have to go. I mean, my husband also is self-employed. He owns a composting facility. My parents and his parents were both came to Texas with dairies, which they both are no longer have the dairies. But the community of my faith, having a church home. When my kids were younger, there was one Christian school. Now we have 2 great Christian schools. I think, I feel like God is such a big part of this community for the most part in most people's lives. And I think that's a great thing to see. And just, I always love too, like people knew our kids. People know who you are here. There's lots of eyes watching everyone's kids. All of my siblings still live in this area, so it's neat to be able to have so much family here.
Okay, I'm going to answer that differently then because I feel like I'm the only one from my family in the area. And I think what it meant the most to me is that I used to tell people when we first moved here, I was like, I love this town. And I feel like if something happened to me at 3 o'clock in the morning, if I could reach my phone, it doesn't matter whose number I dialed. And if I didn't even know them very well, they would come.
Yep.
And to do, I really feel strongly that Stephenville and, is there,
good
somebody's
community.
there for you. I mean, and all the time. And it could be someone from church, someone from the store, someone you met socially, someone through your kids. But I feel like people would come and help whatever they could do.
Yeah.
And I think you see that a lot. And I know GeriAnn mentioned that when you have a kid store, there is a lot of joy in here. There's a lot of sorrow in this. And I feel like people have helped everybody.
Yep.
What would you say is the greatest lesson that you've learned from Cathy from GeriAnn?
I would say,
You
I
get
think
to
it's
go
just,
first.
I know, I'm like, I think it's really just showing up, being there. We don't need to be,
We don't compete with each
yeah,
other.
and we don't have to outshine each other. We just, together. I think that's what I would say.
I think GeriAnn is. I think GeriAnn pushes me to maybe keep like looking out. And I have nieces and nephews and cousins that live in Houston, and they always say to me that they're surprised how the things that we would give as gifts to them that aren't even made it to Houston yet. That we're like we didn't even know about this. What do you mean you have that? And they hadn't heard of those, posh peanut or
Yeah, that reminds me of a story of a customer who went to New York to go shopping for Christmas.
Yeah, take her kids up there to shop at.
And they walk in the store and they're like, I just bought this in New York. Like it was like a disappointment because now it's already in, somebody else in town's going to have it.
Yeah.
What kind of message would you want to send to future generations in Erath County, future business owners who are young, who may own a business in Erath County in the future? What message would you like to send to them about owning a business in Erath County, raising a family in Erath County?
It's a great place to raise a family.
It is a great place to raise a family. you know, owning a business, you know, funny you say, I told my kids, don't be self-employed. Because you can turn most jobs off. We can. It's hard to do that here, but you also have to stick with it. It's not. Those first years are tough. I mean, it's a lot of days of working and hoping somebody comes in that door.
Well, and
Years.
I think I think both of us started small and grew our businesses versus trying to start, like, I think it would be very hard to start retail at the top right now. You're going to have to, I mean, and we were able to start small. I mean, like, look, from a location, an inventory perspective, hours per day. I mean, like, I think, you know, we probably worked 11 to 5 when we were out at Polito's, and when we moved downtown, we had to do 10 to 5. When we moved here,
But Saturdays we're done by 2 downtown.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe that, you know, and I think it's hard now to start small and grow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't hit it on the head the first time out the box, you know, people, and so the town grew and we grew.
Yep. That's true.
Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like to share?
No, we just think Stephenville's a great town, and we appreciate the support of this town and our dreams.
Yep.
And you know, just that they have given us the opportunity to keep serving them.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, thanks very much, GeriAnn. Thank you very much, Cathy.
Yeah,
It's
thank
great
you.
to get to meet you and talk with you today.